thanks everybody for waiting. I know it's been a long night. Gosh, what an exciting night for the Dallas Mavericks franchise, for the fans, for the city of Dallas. We're just super excited, to get Cooper. It's generational talent, once in a lifetime chance, and so we're just top to bottom. We're excited. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
I guess it's a compliment to him because there's been so much speculation, but
what position do you see him primarily playing?
It's funny, J-Kid and I have this joke. When the season's over with, he passes me the ball, and then when the season starts, I pass him the ball back. And so that would be a J-Kid. And we're really, he's a basketball player. He can handle the ball, he can shoot, he can make plays for people, he's a good passer. He's going to be on the floor. And the big thing is who can he defend, and he's a great defender. So I think, positionally, I think you're going to see us play a different style of basketball with him and PJ on the wings.
And then during his visit here, what was the most memorable part about getting to know him in person?
Honestly, I think it's really the way people talk about him, less about how he talks about himself, but his coach will tell you, when I can coach my best player tough, it makes it easier to coach everybody else. His teammates will say, best teammate I've ever had, most competitive person, the GM of the team. It's like he's not entitled. So it's just like all the intangibles that he has is what really gets me excited.
Abby Jones, DL Sports. LeBron James was kind of saying how rare it is that a rookie gets to start his career with established Hall of Fame players. How do you think this is going to accelerate his development in the NBA?
I think it's actually awesome that somebody gets to develop on their own time, whatever that is, and we have the support that we can allow him to develop on his own time. We'll be able to win when he's having good games, and also win when he's not having his best.
Kind of building off what Abby said, it's a unique situation because number one picks don't typically join a team that's in a win now window. How do you see things going in terms of him being a focal point versus the vets kind of being their team?
Yeah, I think when you really have a good culture, I don't think it matters who's the focal point, I think if you're just playing and everybody's focused on winning, then it just kind of the ball's gonna find people and you're gonna play. When he came here, 6 guys took him out to dinner the second night. So I just think, it's kind of unique for a team that didn't make the playoffs, and 6 of their players are taking the potential draft pick out to dinner. So I think our culture is a lot stronger than people realize. So I don't worry about the focal point thing. I think it's just really we're just gonna play basketball, and as he develops, as he progresses, I think his team's gonna embrace him. One of the things that he did a workout while he was here, and PJ was there, and I said, hey PJ, you think you guys can play together? He's like, oh yeah, we can play together. So I don't see any jealousy. I think guys are excited to play with him, and as he's ready, he's gonna get more and more opportunity.
Maybe just because it was in New York, but Cooper got asked if he had assurances that Jason Kidd was going to be the coach next season. You obviously brought up J. Kidd just a second ago, but since it keeps being asked, since the rumors are still out there, just wanted to see if you can conclusively say that J. Kidd is going to be the head coach next season.
Are there rumors still out there about J. Kidd?
Apparently.
Oh, okay. I thought I shut him down. Yes, he will be the coach next year.
Nico over here. You had mentioned in past press conferences about trades that you've made or deals that you have done to kind of win now. But getting a player like Cooper, I would imagine changes it. So how does it change your kind of operation moving forward in terms of how you see this team, not only in the next year or two, but how you're going to build it beyond that?
Well, I think it's 2 things. I think it's win now. It's also win in the future. And we don't know when eventually it's going to be Cooper's team. We don't know when that transition will happen. So I think it's win now and then set yourself up to win in the future as well.
Nico right here. My name is Jordan Show with Clutch Points. My question is, heading into the NBA draft lottery, 1.8% chance you guys win the lottery. What is your initial reaction, and just how surprised were you when you found out you guys won the lottery?
Yeah, I was extremely surprised. All my draft prep up to that point was, us being in the 11th position. So that's just, but things happen. Fortune favors the bold. So exciting things fell our way.
What impressed you the most, Nico, when you first met Cooper? How do you see him fitting in overall?
He's a basketball player. He plays on both sides of the ball. He can fit into any style of play. He's in great shape. He guards multiple positions. He can play multiple positions on offense. Great playmaker. He scores points, but he does it in the flow. If you watch most scorers, especially coming straight from high school, they're not efficient. He's an efficient scorer. He has everything you want in a basketball player.
Isaac Harris, Locked On Mavs over here. Kind of echoing what McMahon was saying, do you kind of view this as two timelines, and does that affect how you build out the roster?
No, not at all. I think, first of all, he's additive. Even though he's supposed to be graduating from high school this year, he's going to be additive to what we're doing. So he is going to help the timeline of win now. But also he's 18 years old, so he's also going to help the timeline of win in the future.
Nico, Daniel Stead at 33 Sports. I want to ask you a bigger basketball question. You obviously were very outspoken about the importance of defense. Post-Thunder NBA championship, a lot of the commentary was about swarming, intense defense. And you could argue 7 of the first 15 picks were defense heavy. Obviously, that's been something you've been very spoken about. Is that just a greater trend in the NBA? Maybe going away from three-point efficiency and it's all about defense?
I don't know about that. I try to focus in on us, and that's our philosophy. That's how we're going to move forward. And Cooper adds to that. Anybody that's watched him play, he's good on both sides of the ball. So.
Scott Harrison with the AP. You mentioned that all your draft prep up to that point had been for the 11th pick. Did you have to do any more draft prep?
Not too much.
And I'm assuming you can't talk specifics with some other significant developments on your soon-to-be roster during this offseason. With this happening so soon, with some other things happening, how do you feel like everything's sort of falling together overall in the offseason in terms of, how do you see this thing going forward? Does it feel like the pieces are kind of falling into place as you would really like?
Yeah, we had a great week. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that we can't say, but we were able to, start having initial conversations with a couple of our guys, and we feel good about the outcome of that, and we intend to sign them when we're allowed to.
Nico, with the Kyrie Irving's injury and coming back in January, do you feel like you have to do something to add to the roster, or how much work do you have to do to the roster going forward?
Yeah, that's going to be part of free agency. We'll have to try to. First of all, you can't replace Kyrie, but our goal will be to try to get a piece that helps us bridge the gap while he's out. So that will be what we focus on next.
Yeah, and to that end, what are you looking for in terms of somebody to run the offense until he's back?
I'm not really worried about someone to run the offense. I think we got enough guys that can handle the ball and play multiple positions, but just someone to get us organized.
And Nico, Christian Clark, a little more to that. You said stylistically we're going to be unique. I was just wondering, how will the Mavericks stylistically be different than most NBA teams?
I don't know that we'll be different than most NBA teams. I think we'll be different than what we've been in the past. You have multiple guys that can handle the ball, multiple guys that can get you in your offense. I think you'll see us playing a faster pace, sort of the way we played when we had 8 players, a lot of passes, a lot of movement, the ball finding the hot hand.
Nico, with everything the organization has been through over the last few months and the frustration from the fans, how much do you see the addition of Cooper Flagg to the organization helping try to get that goodwill back with the Dallas Mavericks fans?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I've seen the fans react to that since the #1 pick, and it feels like they're feeling really good and optimistic about the future.
Nico, piggybacking off that, are you hopeful, optimistic that by drafting Cooper, some of the anger that had been directed at you personally will subside now?
I'm hoping so. You know, I'm assuming so a little bit, maybe.
How much do you anticipate that Cooper can help handle some of the playmaking and facilitating responsibilities, you know, particularly during the time that Kyrie will be out?
Tim, I think he can do it. I think he's a good enough ball handler and a good enough playmaker and scorer that I think he'll be able to. I think it's going to be by committee, though. I don't think it's going to be him by himself, but I think it's going to be by committee. And, you know, like I said earlier, most young scorers, young players are like super inefficient. He's super efficient, and he makes winning plays. So I don't know why that would stop him while he's up here.
When you say that obviously you need a guard to fill the gap with Kyrie being injured, how do you go about pitching that to, you know, players that you're potentially chasing? In the sense, is it more about, you know, there's a role for you when Kyrie's absent? Is that idea, if possible, to get somebody who's going to be, you know, available to contribute once Kyrie comes back as well?
Yeah, I think we're going to have our choice. A lot of players want to come play in Dallas, so I think we'll have our choice based upon the money and the opportunity that we have. Like, obviously, there's limitations to us having our choice, but I think all things equal in terms of money, and we'll have our choice of player that we want to get. Super confident of that.
Nico, looking at Cooper's ceiling, it's extremely high, of course, because this year he's 18 years old, going to be 19. What do you envision his ceiling being in his rookie season?
I don't know. I don't really think about what his ceiling is for his rookie season. I just I think we have a team that will let him, whatever his time frame is, our team will allow him to have that time frame. We won't rush it. We won't slow it. When he's ready, he's going to get everything that he can handle and more.
Nico, you talked in the past about having players who fit to the culture and having players who add to the culture. Can you talk about a way or two you feel that Cooper adds to the culture and helps move it forward?
I think the biggest thing is he's a two-way player. When you watch him play, he plays hard. And when you have a guy that does that, that makes basketball plays, again, you know, when you talk about the stuff that people talk about him, they don't talk about basketball with him. They talk about all the intangibles. When you have a player that's that good and people talk about the intangibles, they don't talk about basketball, then that's a guy who's going to add to your culture.
Next question.
Nico, I'm just curious, you mentioned there wasn't a lot of thought, you know, in the grand scheme of things in selecting Cooper Flag with that first overall pick, but was there somebody that maybe you spoke to, past coach, Team USA basketball, that really struck a chord with you on how special he was?
It was the collection, honestly, of everybody. Everybody that I talked to, whether it was USA Basketball, his coach, the GM of the team, his past coaches, his teammates. Again, everything they talk about with him are the intangibles that make up an excellent player. Nobody really talked about basketball with him. So I think that was the most impressive thing out of all that.